Hey guys, it's Devin from the Hickman Automotive Group, and today we're looking at the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt EV. So get ready and listen to this. So we are in the Bolt, which is an EV. Now what is an EV? That's an electric vehicle. Now electric motors and electric cars are not a new concept. They've been around as early as the 1900s. Now back then, 38% of all cars on the road were electric. Although electric cars nowadays is a little bit different than back then. Nowadays we have a whole race division. We have companies competing on who can have the highest range, the best looking car, the fastest electric car. And it's really exciting to change the automotive landscape away from our diesel and gasoline powered cars. So that brings us to the Chevrolet Bolt. It's an electric car for the masses, and it's actually not all that new. The Chevrolet Bolt has been out since 2016, and now in its fourth generation, we have the 2020 version. So let's park up, dive in, and see exactly what the 2020 Bolt has to offer. All right, let's talk about everybody's biggest worry when they drive an electric vehicle, and that's the range. Now, it's come down to us over the years to pull into a gas station, be filled up, and on our way again within 5 minutes. Now, with an electric vehicle, you can charge it overnight or when you're at work. And you can reach up to 416 kilometers when you're in the Bolt. In comparison, a typical gasoline-powered car in this class averages 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. If we factor in an average cost of the gas to be $1.20 per liter, then we know to drive 100 kilometers in a gasoline-powered car, it would cost us on average about $9. Using the same logic for the Bolt, we can find that it's rated at 17.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. With Newfoundland rates costing 12.2 cents per kilowatt hour, that gives us a rating of $2.15 per 100 kilometers of travel, amounting to less than 25% of the cost of the gasoline-powered car. I know that's a lot of numbers that just came at you, but two numbers that we really want to highlight for this vehicle is that you can get 200 horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque. Now that torque, it's instantaneous because it's an electric motor. So what that means, at any RPM or any speed, you always have 266 foot-pounds of torque. So this car can really get up and move at any speed, at any RPM. Now with all the numbers out of the way, let's dive into the 2020 Bolt, starting off with the looks. Now yes, it does look like a mini version of a minivan, which is actually a great form factor for this vehicle. It allows for ample room for 5 with storage in the trunk. I'll also note that I like the overall look of the Bolt for an electric vehicle because it actually looks like a normal car and not this futuristic body style that lets everybody know that you're driving an electric vehicle. Up front in this premier model, we have LED daytime running lights and headlights. We have a small camera bump here in the center grille for the 360 backup camera system. And a fun fact about electric cars is that they need very little airflow from the grille to operate, as there's no radiator cooling system. It's mostly just used for in-cabin air AC. Coming around the side, we'll see 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels sitting in front of anti-lock disc brakes, which is fitted to all 4 wheels. Now coming around the back of the vehicle, we do have this cool rear light design that's very fitting to Chevy's design style. We also have our indicator and reverse lights down bottom. Now having reverse lights down low in the bumper is great for backing up at night. It keeps the light nice and low to the ground, so it's very helpful for the backup camera and when you're using your mirrors. We do have some black and chrome trim finishes on this car, which really helps highlight the body lines found in the Bolt. Alright guys, one thing to highlight about the Chevy Bolt that's different than gasoline powered cars is where your charging filler cap is. It's actually on the front quarter panel of your car. Alright guys, we're now in the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt. I will say that it's a really nice place to be. It's well thought out, it's well designed. All the finishes are nice soft rubber and nice texture to them. We have this white piano gloss trim feature that swoops around the dash. At night, it actually lights up with a blue underglow for nice ambience lighting. Up front, we have our 10.2-inch touch display, which displays all our information. So we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but it also has all our electricity features as well, telling us how our range is doing, where our battery's getting used to, when we're accelerating too hard, too soft, and etc. We also have all our climate controls and our media controls here as well. We'll also find our hazard lights, our sport mode, and our traction control here as well. Moving on to the shifter, we have a pretty traditional shifter for electric vehicle. Most of them have the radial dials, but this one actually has a shifter. So we hold the shift button, we pull down, we get into drive, up and to the side, and we have reverse. Park is a little button on top, and all you gotta do is hit it and it's in park. Up front, we have a driver display. Now the driver display is great, it's super crisp, it's easy to see in any kind of lighting condition, and it gives us a magnitude of information. Up at the top, we have this big readout showing our speed. Down below, we can have a magnitude of custom features. We can have our range, we can have driver's features, infotainment, and etc. On the left side of the screen, we do see our range with our battery power, and on the right side, we also have our regen. So with our regen, if you're in the positive side, it will start to go towards the regen and actually charge the batteries as you're braking the car. As it goes up, it'll show you how much power per kilowatts you're actually using when you're accelerating. Moving on to the steering wheel, it's a nicely leather wrapped steering wheel. It feels really soft in the hands, and we do have some steering wheel controls. So on our right side, we have all our infotainment, and in behind we have our volume up and down. On our left side, we have our cruise control, heated steering wheel, lanes, keep assist, and etc. Now on the back of the left side of the steering wheel is a different feature. Usually in Chevrolets, they are your track forward and track back for your infotainment. Now in the Chevy Bolt, it's actually a braking feature. So you can actually brake from your steering wheel. So if you hold the brake, it takes 2 or 3 seconds to engage, and then it will slowly bring the car to a stop. When it does that, it actually recharges the battery. So it's a great way when you're on the highway and you don't want to come to a full stop or slow down too much and rub off too much speed. You can hold that in and it will gradually slow down the car while recharging the battery the most optimal way it can. The seats in here are all leather wrapped. The front ones are heated and they are super comfortable, absolutely great for long road trips, because you can get 416 kilometers out of this car. Like I previously mentioned, this car is designed for space. So we have lots of room up front. In the back, our passengers will have lots of room, and we even have a lot of trunk space. All right guys, with the looks and the interior done, let's hit the road and see how the Bolt drives. All right, so we're on the road with the 2020 Bolt. Now it's a different car to drive compared to a gasoline power. There's absolutely no noise. There's no engine noise, there's no real feedback when you're driving it, which is a different feeling, but is also pretty cool. Now this is not no sports car by no means. It's pretty high up, but with all the batteries down low, it keeps the center of gravity low, so it's a pretty good handling car. Now we do not have high performance tires on this. There are skinny tires, so you're not going to be ripping around corners, but no trouble to get up some speed and actually handle it with some fun. All right, let's talk about drive mode. So we do have 3 drive modes in here. We have our regular everyday driving, we do have a sport mode, and we do have L mode. Now L mode only lights up when you're in drive and you have to pull the shifter all the way down when it happens. What L mode does, it allows the car to actually generate braking for you. So it will slow down the car at a much higher rate than what you're probably used to, and it's not coasting, but it will slow down the car. What this does is actually recharge the battery for you if you're running low. So it's a great feature if you're on the highway and you're cruising at a certain speed and you got to slow down, but you don't want to glide so much. You can recharge your battery as you're driving. Overall, the Bolt may not be on your short list for your next vehicle, but after driving it today and seeing all the features it has, it really should be. All right, let's park up and give our final thoughts about the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt. All right guys, here we are parked up at one of the public charging spaces that you can find in St. John's and surrounding areas. Now, one of the prime things about owning an electric vehicle is that you get prime parking. That is at all public places. So right now there's 23 charging stations around St. John's and surrounding areas. They can be found at the hospital, the mall, the arenas, anywhere else. It's a great advantage owning an electric vehicle. All right guys, to end this review of the 2020 Chevrolet Bolt, I will say that obviously gasoline power is not going anywhere anytime soon, but with advances like this in technology and cars coming out soon, I'm really surprised that we won't be driving electric cars in the near future. The last thing to note, if you do purchase a 2020 Chevrolet Bolt and any other electric vehicle, you do get a $5,000 tax credit from the government for going green. All right guys, I'm Devin from Hickman Automotive Group, and we'll see you next time.